First in high definition from the station on your side, this is WAVY News 10.
We are the 99%.
From Wall Street to Hampton Roads.
We need to get money completely out of the government.
Occupy Norfolk. Hear from the organizer of the local movement. And a note to our troops.
I was honored to have this opportunity when I saw the wall here to come and share my expressions for all of our military personnel.
We'll show you how easy it is to say thank you and tell you how they'll get the message. Big news on the Outer Banks. The highway that links Hatteras Island to the mainland is open tonight.
And 10 on your side was among the drivers who went across NC 12 about an hour ago. It's been closed since August 27th. And only Shopper 10 can show you this view after Hurricane Irene washed out part of the road. Our Andy Fox is live on P Island after going across the repaired road. Andy, I see you made it.
Yeah, Tom, this is a story you'll see only on 10 on your side. The first news crew to cross this new bridge. Take a look at that. They're still doing a lot of work on it. But earlier, we rode across. We were following the chairman of the Board of Commissioners, and we were following VDOT groups. And you should be seeing video of us going across this bridge. It's called a temporary bridge. They're hoping that this bridge will last somewhere between 5 and 10 years. That's kind of what the definition of temporary is. They really want to have a new concrete bridge put in within 5 years. Here are some numbers. It's 664 feet long. It took 44 days to build at a cost of $6.5 million. 15,000 man-hours coming back out here live. This is the chairman of the Board of Commissioners, Warren Judge. Commissioner, tell me, before we get to the good news, what you've lost in these 44 days.
Well, we've lost a lot in the sense that people's lives are just torn apart, and this storm hit us where we live, and all their personal tragedy, all their personal loss, and then it's compounded by the fact that you can't get on and off the island very easily. 5 hours just ferry without wait. What we've lost economically was a very valuable month. The month of September is as good as any month in the summer for the folks on Hatteras Island. Hatteras Island represents 25 to 28% of the county's industry. We have a $1 billion economy. Hatteras Island represents a quarter of that, and we lost a very valuable month. We don't have the dollars and cents figures on that yet, but it's going to be significant.
I keep asking, are we talking about $10 million loss, 15? You're in the hotel business?
I'm not afraid to say $10 or $15 million easily in revenues. Tax monies, we haven't extrapolated it out yet.
Now the good news. Governor Beverly Perdue said, we want this bridge built by the 15th of October. Here we are on the 10th, 44 days later.
Yes, sir.
You got to be happy with today.
We can't be any more proud of and appreciative of Governor Perdue. She's been here 3 times. She made a stand in the sand on the Sunday after the hurricane and said, we're going to put this back. It's back. It will open sometime this evening. In a couple of weeks, all the construction equipment to be out of the way, and if you didn't know it, you wouldn't know it.
And a big shout out to North Carolina Department of Transportation.
Absolutely, from the Secretary Conti down to Jim Trogdon, Jerry Jennings on the ground here, Pablo Hernandez.
Pablo's the man.
And all the men and women.
You're happy.
Yes, sir. And the men and women of the ferry crew who ran 16 round trips 24 hours a day. We thank everybody.
Hey, guys, you know, today's a real day to be happy down here on P Island. Hatteras Island connected to the mainland. 5:45, the first cars will start coming through. 10 on your side, bringing you the story first. Guys, back to you.
Good to see that open there. Thanks, Andy. Well, they say they're angry about corporate greed. This is video from today's Occupy Wall Street protest in our nation's capital. Occupy protesters are upset over a variety of issues ranging from the economy, unemployment, and the war in Afghanistan. Protests against corporate greed are growing all across the country and right here in Hampton Roads. The grassroots group Occupy Wall Street started demonstrating last month, and we sent 10 on your side Stephanie Harris to one that was held in downtown Norfolk this afternoon. Stephanie?
On the call, with the help of social media, this movement is quickly growing. Over the weekend, hundreds gather in places like Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Philadelphia, and more than 100 demonstrated right here in Norfolk. And whether you agree with their message or not, you can no longer ignore it, and neither can lawmakers.
We are the 99%.
They could be your neighbors. Today, they moved downtown with a message for corporate America.
Banks got bailed out. We got sold.
And the lawmakers they claim have crawled into bed with them.
We just really feel like the collusion between them and our government has gotten to a point that it is unhealthy and is not democratic anymore.
James McPherson organized the movement in Hampton Roads. He is a 24-year-old with 2 part-time jobs, no health benefits, and a degree in history and Spanish.
What did you expect to do with the degree when you got out?
You know, I honestly, I kind of hoped to be able to do something with Spanish.
The problem, he claims, most of those jobs are freelance, no benefits. These protesters want their financial future somewhat guaranteed.
Don't I want a job when I grow up? Don't I want to be able to support a family?
People all along the way stopped to take notice. Most honked in support.
So this is Occupy Norfolk. Okay, that's all right with me.
Even Washington is starting to take notice.
Well, I support the message to the establishment, whether it's Wall Street or the political establishment and the rest, that change has to happen.
I, for one, am increasingly concerned about the growing mobs occupying Wall Street and the other cities across the country.
Occupy Norfolk!
Most protests have been peaceful, and they don't look to be stopping anytime soon.
Occupy Norfolk now has nearly 4,300 followers on Facebook. McPherson told me that the next step is for the Occupy movement as a whole to solidify what they really want and present it to lawmakers. Stephanie Harris, 10 on your side.
We have complete coverage of Occupy Norfolk on WAVY.com. Just click on the link on our local news page to chime in on the conversation, see what people are saying on Twitter, and check out some photos from protests nationwide.
President Obama's health care reform law may go to the nation's highest court. Liberty University and 2 individuals are appealing a dismissal of a lawsuit which challenged the new law. They claim requiring citizens to buy health insurance is unconstitutional. The Fourth Circuit Court of Appeals ruled the penalty is a tax that cannot be challenged until it is paid and the taxpayer seeks a refund. Now, Virginia Attorney General Ken Cuccinelli also is appealing the Fourth Circuit's dismissal of his lawsuit. The president's hopping the bus for a ride south to sell his jobs plan. His destinations, Newport News, Danville, Charlottesville, and Fredericksburg. The 4 cities are part of his pitch to voters in key battleground states to pressure congressional Republicans to approve his $447 billion economic bill. Details like locations and times, well, they'll be announced in the coming days.
A local civil rights leader charged with breaking into a Hampton home that's a former crime scene is due in court next week. 77-year-old Rudy Langford is the president of the local chapter for the Coalition for Justice. Police arrested him Saturday for breaking into a home on Clifton Street. That's where 69-year-old William Cooper was involved in a shootout with police on June 18th and later died. Police say sometime between then and June 30th, someone broke into the home and stole cash. Detectives say their investigation uncovered Langford entered that house unlawfully. They're still working to determine whether he had anything to do with the missing money. Langford had been on the property before to protest the police-involved shooting.
Police are asking how a man was hit and killed trying to cross a busy street in Chesapeake. It happened shortly before 8 last night on North Battlefield Boulevard. Police say a driver hit 26-year-old Jorge Suarez as he crossed the street. They also say speed and alcohol were not factors in the accident.
These Northampton County men are accused of beating and locking a woman in a trunk, then leaving her for dead. Tonight at 5:30, hear how she managed to survive.
And is it too much of a good thing? We're on your side, breaking down research that links vitamins to a higher risk of dying.
Candy concerns. Parents say this isn't for kids. We'll show you what's appearing in stores around the country that they want pulled from the shelf.
And temperatures across our part of the world, 72 right now in Norfolk. There's some warmer air out off to the west, but it's really not going to be affecting us all that much. In fact, it'll stay into the low to mid 70s into the area. We'll tell you what else is coming in our forecast.
You're watching WAVY News 10 at 5 with Tom Shad, Nicole Libas, and Super Doppler 10 Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
It's a new low, say parents and drug activists. Candy, shaped like marijuana leaves. A Pennsylvania company is distributing the so-called pot pops, pothead ring pots, and pothead lollipops. to about 1,000 stores across the country. It's been on the market for about 6 months now, and drug control advocates say the candy could encourage drug use. An irate parent in Buffalo, New York asked city officials to get it removed from stores there, and one council member said that he'd refuse to grant licenses to stores in his district that plan to sell the candy.
Vitamins are part of a healthy lifestyle for many of us. More than 150 million Americans take dietary supplements, but new research links some supplements to an early death. NBC's Erica Edwards explains.
You really can't have too much of a good thing, according to a new study on dietary supplements. Researchers followed a group of nearly 40,000 white women in their 60s for about 20 years. Taking multivitamins, folic acid, and especially iron supplements were associated with a higher mortality risk. This may be explained in part by ongoing health problems. Some people take iron pills after major surgery.
Or they may have iron deficiency anemia associated with chronic diseases.
Vitamins were once taken to prevent diseases marked by deficiencies, vitamin C for scurvy, for example. But as we've boosted the nutrient content in our food supply, true vitamin deficiencies are pretty rare in the United States. Dietitians say a supplemental pill should be viewed as a backup.
It takes a second place to the actual food and fruits and vegetables and whole grains that are natural sources of these vitamins and minerals.
The Council for Responsible Nutrition oversees the dietary supplement industry. The council maintains supplements can be part of a healthy lifestyle and responded to the new research in a statement saying the study may make for interesting scientific water cooler discussion, but certainly does not warrant sweeping overstated concerns for elderly women. The new study also found calcium was associated with a decreased risk for early death. This may be because they may help reduce the risk for broken bones. Erica Edwards, NBC News.
Well, this is a true hazard on the golf course like no other.
We'll tell you what's in the water that has golfers worried about more than just their swing.
The exhibit is called A Note to Our Troops, and here they are, unveiled in Norfolk this morning. I'm Art Kahn. That story coming up.
It's A Note to Our Troops, a new exhibit unveiled outside Nauticus this morning in downtown Norfolk.
10 on your side's Art Kahn shows us, unlike today's social media, this interactive exhibit utilizes old school tools to deliver a message that's never dated.
Less than an hour after it opened to the public, the 24-foot-long blackboard began filling up with notes of gratitude for the men and women who serve in uniform.
We just don't get the opportunity to say thanks, and this wall certainly is a great way to do it.
It's good to remind them that they do sacrifice and that we do realize it, and we're thankful for it, definitely.
Anyone can post a note on the board. This is an interactive exhibit, but there are no drop-down menus, no keyboards, no mouse, just chalk.
But the simplicity of this concept is more than just a unique feature. It's actually what makes this thing so powerful.
Handwritten notes, despite their effectiveness, have become a thing of the past in today's cyber world.
I know when I receive them, they mean much more to me than when I get an email. And that's what part of our hope is here, that you're taking the time to really give it some thought and write it with your own hand.
Some of the notes posted are more than expressions of gratitude. They are an offering of hope.
Thank you is a little bit part of it, but for the most part, if you pray for them, that's the biggest part.
Prayer changes things always.
Visiting from California, Cindy Horn couldn't head home without posting a message for her Navy son and those that serve with him.
I have a plane to catch, but I was honored to have this opportunity when I saw the wall here to come and share my expressions for all of our military personnel.
This young Navy wife and her child were shopping downtown when she learned about the exhibit and changed her schedule.
I think I found out about it 45 minutes ago, so it's thought, well, before we go home, we were going to come over here and make sure that we add something.
You have until November 23rd to add your thoughts to the exhibit. In Norfolk, Art Kahn, 10 on your side.
Crews will take pictures of the blackboard and post them on Nauticus and USS Wisconsin's Facebook pages.
Organizers say the board will be erased periodically. That's to make room for more notes, but all of the messages will be photographed and posted between now and Thanksgiving.
News across the nation now. 7 people, including a 4-year-old girl, spent 20 hours treading water and floating in choppy seas off the Florida Keys after their boat capsized. A commercial fisherman rescued 3 people clinging to the overturned boat and alerted the Coast Guard. Crews found the little girl and 3 women holding on to a floating cooler. The women were wearing life jackets and apparently took turns holding the child. The Coast Guard photo shows crews bringing one of the rescued victims ashore. An 80-year-old woman is missing and presumed dead. Some of the victims were treated for jellyfish stings. The 4-year-old was treated for mild hypothermia.
Now, in high definition, your Super Doppler 10 forecast with Chief Meteorologist Don Slater.
After an absolutely gorgeous weekend, it's not that bad today. Temperatures topped off into the mid-70s. Yeah, we got some cloud cover, but again, still a real nice day. Kids are out of school for the most part, and rain is holding off. We are going to see some rain move on into the area during the afternoon hours of tomorrow. It's not going to be an all-day washout for any of the days ahead, but we are going to see some rain tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday, but again, none of those days are likely to be a washout. Here's where it's coming from, and really we expected this. As of last Friday, I was telling you about this area that would develop and start throwing some clouds our way, and really the clouds are here a little earlier than we expected through the area. They're very thin clouds, but thick enough to hold our temperature down just a bit. 75 again for a high temperature today. That cloud cover is going to continue to stream northward, and the rain will as well. Now I want to show you what's going on a little more localized basis. Scattered showers, yep, that's in our forecast. We're not likely to see it tonight, though. Here's what's going on at 9 o'clock tonight. We're looking at a northeast wind at about 10 miles an hour, 10 to 15 tomorrow morning. Now, we are seeing some rain into eastern North Carolina by tomorrow morning at 7. It'll be at least the noon hour before we start to see some rainfall into the Hampton Roads cities, mainly south side at noon. 10 to 15 mile an hour winds by 3, 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Good slug of rain moving on through. Also during the evening hours. Now, we've got an east wind at about 10 miles an hour at 7 o'clock in the evening. By the midnight hour, 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. But the bulk of the rain, that's our one real solid shot of rain happening late in the day coming up for tomorrow. There's where things are by Wednesday morning. Could even see a few breaks in the clouds during the day on Wednesday, but we'll likely see some rain as well. There's we are by the noon hour on Wednesday and Wednesday evening. Still seeing some rainfall into the area. There's a little bit of a trough line, wind shift line right on into here. It'll work its way on through on Wednesday evening. Plus, there's another situation, cool front off to the west, which will move our way coming up by late in the day Thursday. So that'll continue our shot at some rain, but some thin cloud cover, and there's the sun right there. And again, you can still see the sun through all of that. It's not clear. It's cloudy right now, 72 degrees. 75 was our high, and you can see 72 in Hampton, Chesapeake, and Suffolk with 75 degrees. Again, temperatures mostly into the low to mid 70s throughout the area right now. Skies are cloudy, but again, it's kind of a thin layer of cloud cover through which we can still see the sun. Overnight, we'll see clouds get thicker and thicker and lower and lower and lower all night long, and we'll see our temperatures drop to around 61 degrees. By dawn, we could see a little bit of rain across eastern North Carolina, and by the noon hour, just a couple of stray showers into the Hampton Roads area. By 3 o'clock, a little more widespread. 74 degrees for a high temperature tomorrow, and again, a good chance of rain, especially later on in the day and into Tuesday evening. Wednesday, some breaks in the clouds, and I think that'll pop our temperature up to 77 degrees, 73 degrees on Friday, sunshine and cloud cover, and then around 70 degrees coming up for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. You know, that's the weekend. Remember, that's coming up. I think we'll clear off by then, but until then, we got rain moving on in, not a total washout any of these days, but we're looking at some rain tomorrow late in the day, and especially tomorrow evening, Wednesday and Thursday, some scattered rain.
Netflix says, never mind. We'll tell you how and why the company is hitting the rewind button.
Then each time you hit play, it puts more money in someone's pocket. Find out how people are using YouTube for profit and how you can too.
Netflix is hitting the rewind button on its plan to separate its DVD by mail and internet streaming services. Less than a month ago, Netflix announced it would split the DVD rental business off onto a new website called Quickster. The video streaming services would have retained the name Netflix. Subscribers complained about that plan, saying they didn't want to manage two accounts. Netflix's CEO made a blog post today saying, quote, "We are going to keep Netflix as the one place to go for streaming and DVDs. That's one account, one password." Netflix is sticking with the price hike, though, it announced during the summer. If you're hoping to get an iPhone 4S when it's released on Friday, don't count on ordering it online. USA Today says the first round of pre-orders for the new Apple phone sold out the first day of availability last Friday. Apple says pre-orders topped 1 million. It's the most successful iPhone launch ever. You can still order the iPhone online, but it's now estimated to take 1 to 2 weeks for delivery. You could also try your luck waiting in line at an Apple store or cell phone retailer when the phone hits shelves on Friday. The base model of the iPhone 4S is $200 with a 2-year contract. It has a faster processor and an improved camera compared to last year's model.
Some New Hampshire homeowners, well, they were surprised at what they saw taking a dip in their backyard pool. We're going to show you a most unusual animal rescue.
Then these people like buffalo, but they also like their wings spicy and mild. See what they were willing to do to win free wings for a year in Norfolk.
Hi, Matt. Check, 1, 2.
1, 2, 3, 4. You shank a shot, and there it goes. You're on the golf course, you shank a shot, and there it goes right into the lake. And chances are you're going to leave it there at one golf course in Australia. That's because sharks have infested that golf club there. Heavily flooding recently caused 6 bull sharks to wash into the lake. 6 of them, 10 feet long, and they have no way out. The sharks appear to be thriving despite their new surroundings. Some of them are even breeding. Better improve your golf game there. Fish are taking to the streets in South Florida. They blame heavy rain over the weekend. A local creek spilled its banks, which allowed catfish to swim freely through the streets here. And some folks in New Hampshire, they made a shocking discovery in their backyard pool, a moose. That's right, it's breeding season, so it's common to see the animals wander into unfamiliar places like this. It took a lot of work in about 4 hours, but police, firefighters, and fish and game officials, they all came together and eventually pulled that moose out of the pool. The animal, as you can imagine, was a bit agitated, but appeared to be unharmed. Come on, one more! Ugh! The moose was last seen walking back into the woods. He'll be back when it gets hot. Stay with us. WAVY News 10 at 5:30 starts right now.